My advice to innovation managers is to stop trying to manage innovation because it's not possible. It's inherently not a manageable activity.
Why it is not possible?
Because it's inherently not a manageable activity. And so it is resistant to being managed. So the more you try to manage it, you're treating it, you're treating it like something that can be managed, which is mental error number one. And so you've been hired to do a job that's fundamentally undoable. And if you haven't figured that out yet, you must have just started. But after you've been doing it for a while, you'll figure out that you're doing innovation theater, and your management is funding you to do something that it cannot be inherently managed like existing things. And large corporations are in the business of scaling existing things, not finding and inventing new things, which is a profoundly, not just different, but opposite behavior and skill set. And so you have to try doing more radical things. Your job, I guess the proper title is management wrangler. Your job is to keep management off of the innovation and to get the company to stop trying to help the innovators. So your job is to find the innovators, remove the things that are in their way, stopping them from innovating. But to believe that you can actually cause innovation to happen by funding it is an illusion, and you will continue to fail until you stop buying into that illusion and understand that innovation is a force of nature that's inside all humans. You do not manage it, you do not cause it. What you can do, like of any force of nature, it's you find that you're a storm chaser and you find the storm already happening. You do not cause storms, they already exist, and you run underneath the storm and erect lightning rods to channel that energy and to try to capture it. But it's a force of nature, and innovation will happen. You do not make it start, and once it has started and you have an innovator in action trying to do something, I also don't know how to stop them. And so nothing you do is going to make it start happening, and actually once it starts happening, nothing you can do will stop it. And so that's my...
Your advice is that the innovation manager should do by themselves innovation, so they should
try
work
everything else first. Hire consultants, do hackathons, do contests, do Shark Tanks, do innovation labs, do whatever you think will work. Do that. If it doesn't work, come back and try Kickbox. Don't start with Kickbox, because once you get into it, it's easy and fast, but it seems too weird, and you won't try it and really go through with it until you've tried everything else and it fails. Almost everybody that does, every organization that does Kickbox tried everything else and nothing worked, and then they ended up with Kickbox, including Adobe. My personal sampling is all humans are creative, and so what I guess the question is, first of all, how you define creativity. I'm not sure it's a very useful construct to talk about, but I can tell you, I think the best way to define creativity is to ask people what the opposite of creativity is. And a lot of people assume the opposite of creativity is like boredom or doing the same thing. And actually the opposite of creativity is fear. And so fear is what suppresses. Fear and uncertainty suppresses human creativity. And so creating a non-fearful environment, and by the way, large public corporations is the nature of a fearful environment. And the more successful they are, the more fearful. And those are the really healthy cultures, like Adobe. There are still people that have like a subconscious fear. And so helping them overcome that is actually part of the job of innovation. And so what you can do as an innovation manager is to not have an innovation plan, have an innovation pattern. And you repeat that pattern, and that's what I documented and shared for free in Kickbox as open source, is that pattern. And if people repeat that pattern, you can cause the right things, create the right conditions inside the organization. You don't cause it, but you remove the barriers. So Kickbox is fundamentally giving people permission to do this, giving them a process, and otherwise getting out of the way, which means keeping the rest of the organization from helping. Including the innovation department, from helping the innovators.